Hello everyone, I'm Andrew Can, and if I can, you can too. Today we're going to be taking a look at YouTube search, and more importantly, we're going to be using a tool from TubeBuddy. If you are unaware, TubeBuddy is an amazing browser extension that can help you grow on YouTube by giving you the tools you need to succeed. In full disclosure, I do work for TubeBuddy, thus meaning I have a bias. However, I do think that a lot of the things provided with TubeBuddy are very useful to what you need to succeed on this platform. So, if you want to install TubeBuddy, TubeBuddy.com/can. If you'd like to buy the pro or higher level versions, which are the paid versions, you can use Andrew's Buddy for 25% off. That being said, we are going to be diving deep into YouTube search. I see some people too. Christina Smallhorn says, I can too? Really? Wow. Thanks, Andrew. You know, if she can whisper to real estate, I guess I could too. But welcome the Urban Explorer, welcome Beanie Draws. It's great to see everyone here. I'm just really excited. It's been a bit since I've streamed last. So we're going to go ahead and make our way over to the desktop. So today we're going to be focusing on TubeBuddy Search Explorer, and the reason I love this feature is because anything you search for on YouTube, it takes some of the information that is on TubeBuddy's backend and puts it to the forefront. So let's say I was looking into, since Beanie Draws is here, drawing dinosaurs. For kids, we see all the different ones, so we'll just put drawing dinosaurs. If you know where that's from, thank you. But you can kind of get an idea of the stuff people are looking for. I have some bigger hair going on tonight. Well, I just got a haircut. It might be the floof I have right now. Sometimes my hair looks good, sometimes it doesn't. It depends its mood. But if we look here in Search Explorer through TubeBuddy, I'll zoom in once again for you. Or actually, I think we're fine. Let me know in chat if you can see this. Beanie says, I know all these channels. The thing I like about Keyword Explorer, and even if you have the free version, is it is very useful for a couple of statistics. One, the search volume per month is invaluable. Knowing that about, let's just say, 500,000 people, if we were to be generous and round up, if we were to keep it at it is 428,000. But here's the thing that a lot of people, when they're looking for research, they don't consider. In order to get to this first page of thank you so much, Neil, aka the Urban Explorer, who gave me a $4.99 super chat. He said, because I like your lips. I don't know how to feel about that, but I do appreciate it, Neil. But as we look here, we will see that all of these pieces of information, if you want to show here, there's an actual minimum amount that you need to receive. And more specifically, it's a minimum amount of views. If we look here in keyword stats under Search Explorer, we can see that the least amount of views I would need to get on a video to show up on the first page of search results is 1,1224 views. 1.1K is what I'd say. If I look here, I can see that the amount of videos, which just based on the topic drawing dinosaurs that have been published in the last 7 days, is 0. The top channel is Kids Draw TV. And if we kind of look here, we can kind of see one video from them. We might see a couple more as we go through, 2 here. And basically how this calculates it is how many videos are from this channel. In this case, Kids Draw TV. As we can see, they own the #1 spot. But it's interesting to break down because if I can get about 1,124 views per video, I have a real chance of ranking here. Now, obviously, that that's a very oversimplification, but the idea is if you know the minimum requirement and you know that you can get that, then maybe this is a good keyword for you. Now, in a unweighted sense, not taking a look at my personal channel, this has a poor score. It gives it a very poor rating for competition because there's so much from larger channels. But the search volume is decent, and there's a lot of searches per month. So if I was Beanie, for example, that would be a great idea. So Beanie, my challenge to you would be drawing dinosaurs, right? Like just in general, we know that there's search for this. I don't necessarily know if you have a video. Maybe it's just how to draw dinosaurs, or how I go about drawing dinosaurs, or finding a way to put it there. Welcome 30-day reviews, who says howdy all. I expected that to be howdy y'all, but I guess that's the southern in me coming out. But if we look here, we can see the difference here. And one thing I'd like to do is if we type in, for example, where to travel in a van, let's just take a look at this term. And here we're going to see that, wow, there's some decent search volume. The competition is very good because it's low, and an unweighted score is very good. If we look here at the keyword stats, the least viewed video here is about 4.4 3,000 views. We see the most views is 10 million. We can see the least and the most, but there's only been about 2 videos here. We can see the top channel is Exploring Alternatives. Welcome, Felix the Dev. Welcome, Shelly Saves the Day. Said wanted to stop by and say hi. Thank you, Shelly. Always appreciate seeing you. So this is a great... The Urban Explorer says, my challenge is to make a bloody video. But where to travel in a van actually has a couple of different, so like how much does it cost, van life, top 10 overnight parking spots, but no one actually where to travel in a van. People want to know where to travel in a van, but no one's actually putting that directly in their title, their descriptions. We can see it's in some of the tags, but honestly, this is very not well optimized. So for the Urban Explorer, aka Neil, this is a great opportunity for you to come in. And it's almost as if when I made that comment, I did a little bit of research for you. Neil, you said you would accept the challenge. I'm waiting for it. But sorry, Neil, just giving you a hard time. But hopefully you guys are understanding how powerful this tool is for search. All this information and like the keyword stats and such is available on the free version. So if I just click here on keyword stats, you can see a lot of this information. In fact, I'll go one step beyond. Hopefully it won't kick me off, but I like doing it. So I want to show you the free version of TubeBuddy. It'll give you an idea. Just a kind of look here, show keyword score. If we go to keyword stats, we're going to get a little bit of difference here because it's going to give me new ones because it recognizes my browser, and I can go in to a lot of specifics, but more specifically, we can still see the things that are true. So it's one of those things where if you know you can do very well, you have a real chance of showing up here. So just what it is there. So a lot can be done with just the free version here in TubeBuddy. I know a lot of people think that the free version is unusable, but that's a very big misconception. The main difference I'd say is you don't have that much access to like the related searches and the most used tags. We have to limit that just due to API calls and fun jargon. But the point being is that it is so useful just from the get-go. 30-day review says I have a hard time figuring out how to use it. How to use what? By being very vague, I can't give you a very specific answer. So use it. Are we talking about Search Explorer? Are we talking about Keyword Explorer? It's not that specific. Beanie Draw says, the Urban Explorer, I'm uploading something to the gaming channel right now, 1.5 gigabytes, so it should be uploaded in about 12 hours. Yeah, that's that Australian internet. Gosh, I will experience that firsthand soon, Beanie. But as I look here, my question is for those of you who are doing keyword research, do you do it exclusively by looking in YouTube search, or are you doing it within Keyword Explorer? I find myself, if I'm searching for a video topic I'm interested in that could also fit my niche, I'll usually, or niche, depending on where you are, I usually will go and type it into YouTube search, and then if I like what I see, so an example of this is I've been thinking about doing a 3-point lighting video, right? 3-point lighting for video. Just put it out there, right? And I know there's about 1,000 searches per month. I was looking it up the other day. And so 1,000 people for my channel size of about 3.6 thousand subscribers is really good because that's 1,000 new opportunities for people to understand my channel and understand the mindset that hopefully they will buy into, which is if I can, you can too. So if we look here, we can see that the search volume is pretty fair. The competition is fair. If I look at the keyword stats, the minimum amount of views is about 3.2 thousand. But look at this. There's not really one for, there's not that, it's not in the title. It's really not in the description. Published in the last 7 days is 0. The top channel is YCI Imaging. I know this channel. It's a very good channel. But the point being is, if I made a playlist, for example, all about 3-point lighting, then I could literally dominate this term. And it's understanding that as you are searching for things that interest you and that may go into your channel, it's a great opportunity to do some keyword research. I want to take a look here from Magdalena Helen. I do keyword research with TubeBuddy and check out weighted score. Is this a good method? Absolutely. Weighted score is taking into consideration how you will perform. In fact, if I wanted to do a weighted score here, it's as simple as I just got to click here for the weighted score, 3-point lighting. It's going to show me my weighted score is bad because I know that the bare minimum is about 3.2 thousand views to break in here, but I'm crazy. And I see that there's a lot of possibilities here. I see there's 1,000 people searching for this. When I look at the keyword stats found in Search Explorer, I can see that there's not that many videos on it. And even though, the least amount of views is here, I know that my videos do better with my audience in search, but also depending the topic, if it's heavily filmmaking related, it can skyrocket in views. So the weighted score is just going to tell you how you will perform at the moment. But if you know that you can maybe make a playlist or you can create lots of content around a subject, I say go for it. A lot of times people see a score and they just halt. They're like, whoa, this is a 40 out of 100. That's a fail. I'm not going to do it. But in reality is you got to look at these scores based on the color they give you, right? And if you are the person to at a red light, you stop, I stop, we all stop. But at yellow, if you either run through it or you yield to stop, that's going to be you. So for me, I know the search volume's good. 1,000 new people to my channel a month, I'm okay with. And then I know that over time, I could easily get this minimum requirement of views. So for me, it would then be worth it. But again, Christina Smallhorn says, what's a decent CTR? What should we be striving for? Decent CTR is 2 to 10%. You strive for 100%, but you accept anything that's above, honestly, 7% or higher is what I go for. At the end of the day, you're not the one who decides your CTR, it's your audience. So when people ask me what's a CTR I should strive for, obviously the answer is going to be 100%. Like, we all want to strive for 100, but we realize that normal is 2 to 10%, and anything that's 7% or higher is amazing. So that's what I usually tell people. Hey, Tiffany Von Graley, great to see you. Magdalena Helen says, oh, right, that's useful to know. And again, it's how you would handle it. Every creator is different. Christina Smallhorn says, poop, I only have a 5.2%. Well, what is that based on? How many people have you seen? How many people has that video been served in front of? What's its impressions? There's a lot of data that isn't being talked about. Another thing is CTR is also based on title, right? So a lot of times, and this is something I fall victim to, is people focus so much on being searchable. Are you compelling people to click through? Because let's look at the example of 3-point lighting, right? Filmmaking 101 3-point lighting tutorial. All right, I know this is a basic tutorial on 3-point lighting. Cheap 3-point lighting setup, best budget filmmaking. Well, I'm a filmmaker on a budget. I'm more compelled to click on this than maybe this. Not saying that this is bad, but maybe I watch this and then I follow it up with this. Here's one. I mean, I see Frame Force Film School 3-point lighting. I don't really compel. How to professionally light my videos. Well, I mean, that's pretty compelling. It's not actually talking, like 3-point lighting, I'm sure is talked about in this video, but notice how, because of such the compelling element here, more people, also it's Peter McKinnon, so he's got that bias. But as you see here, video lighting tutorial, video lighting for beginners. Well, Justin Brown does a great job by enticing me, a beginner. Cheap entices me, right? So that's the thing that you have to keep in mind. I want to know what my challenge is. Inside the Lab says, hey Cam, when you're looking at potential videos to watch, what's one of the thumbnail determining factor, or what compels you to click on that video? Great question from Inside the Lab. Okay, I'm old school, so when it comes to it, I actually read the title first, more so than the thumbnail, but I know that that is my specific bias. I know by watching and talking, most people are looking at thumbnail first, maybe they read the title, but the thing is, the younger generation and like basically 18 to 35 are more likely to look at the thumbnail above all else, right? What I'm looking for is, if it's in this example, 3-point lighting, this thumbnail is a graph showing me exactly how to do it. That's interesting. Cheap 3-point lighting. Well, this is a thumbnail with, Sean pointing to some lighting. This actually shows a bunch of lights. This shows some lighting. This shows an example effect. But it depends, right? Like, this is 2-point lighting. I actually recognize this image, what is being shown on screen here. This is a royalty-free image, and I've used it in my own videos. That's how I know it's royalty-free, right? But for me, I look at, is this going to, one, actually talk about 3-point lighting, which obviously these are doing. I actually really like this video. I like the idea with this thumbnail. I like that, they're obviously using tricks to make it stand out against the background. They're making this person stand out. But the thing I would have used is maybe show some lights here and here, like actually show some of what you're talking about. I think that there's a good thumbnail between all of these variants that if you combine them all together, it could really be powerful. But again, it doesn't matter what I think. What does your ideal audience think? I can't say for certain that a thumbnail I like is what your ideal audience will like. So that's why it's more difficult to give advice when it comes to thumbnails. I can tell you what people look for. I can tell you what I look for personally, but that's something to keep in mind. I see that we have gained people. 30-day review says, yep, I never read the thumbnails. I see that we've gotten Flash in Your Pan. Welcome. I see that we have Nomadic Bike. Welcome back. Always great to see you. People are back. Zavi, who recently hit 1,000 subscribers. Congratulations on that. Inside the Lab says, old school too. Solid advice, Can. Thanks. Again, it's every person is different on how they do it. But if you know your audience age, which my audience skews from 18 to 24. Maybe it's because I'm 25. I'm going to take that assumption. But I know on the TubeBuddy channel, for example, it's 24 to 45, right? So in that case, what I found mattered more is how did I title this video more than how I put a thumbnail. Because I've done so much thumbnail testing on that channel that I know for a fact that if it is not either a restatement of what's going to be in that video with what level license the tool is, people don't care. But I know for a fact if I put on the TubeBuddy YouTube channel, how to get more views, 20% increase just from that alone. So it depends the audience, depends the content they came for. So for me, on this channel where it is all about filmmaking, travel, and my expertise and about that such, I know that, for example, my VidCon videos do very well and that I like to create films. So I combined the want of VidCon with the filmmaking aspect of I know that people know I do films, but I know that the searchable question is, should I go to VidCon? So I made a film about that, which let me, one, make a film about VidCon, which is the travel, the filmmaking, and then I just also got to creatively flex, which I think is something not a lot of people, some people are so afraid to create content that's not searchable that they forget that, hey, try things. So that's why search is great, but you also have to realize is like, am I going to take a risk? Am I okay with if that risk fails? Most people are not okay if the risk fails. So that's kind of something you have to go with yourself. Create Live says, any advice about how to get traction on a new topic as you shift videos to get more specific in your niche? So not a completely new topic, but more niche within the current topic. Inside the Lab says, yes, that video is what made me want to go next year and meet you. I'd love to meet you inside the lab. I appreciate you coming and joining us here on the live. So Creative Live, could you give me a more specific example, right? Because I don't know your niche per se. If I'm going to take a guess, Create Live, I keep saying creative. You need to go to VidSummit, click it and buy a ticket, says Christina Smallhorn. Well, that's a great example of Christina leveraging a competition that was around VidSummit. And that's an event she will be going to, right? Sometimes there are events around, like, for example, I know I've entered the Road Reel, which is a short filmmaking competition every year, and it's fun. I haven't entered since 2016, I said every year, but it's something I can enter every year, right? So it's understanding opportunities as they arise. Hello, Luis Velasquez. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correct. But with that, we're talking about search. I want to leave it open to you. This is the channel review portion of the discussion, the live stream, if you will. And what we're going to be doing here, and first I'm going to ask Neil, would you like a channel review because you gave a super chat? Super chats always take the priority. So, it's Lawyer from Live Streaming Pros, by the way. So we're looking to shift from all live streaming targets to more focus on the Mixer platform. Okay, well that makes a lot of sense. So first off, if you're focusing more on Mixer, Mixer is the answer to the questions they have, right? So if you want focus on Mixer, you got to go where the search is. So instead of saying why you should go into Mixer, it should be what are the best live streaming alternative to YouTube? Why Mixer is the answer. So people are looking for, let's actually run this through. And the Urban Explorer says, hell yes. So I will go ahead and add you to our queue. So go to channel, But as we look here, and as I keep that in mind, let's type in, so you're focusing from shift from all live streaming talks to more focus on the Mixer platform. So you're looking to shift from all live streaming topics just to Mixer specifically. That's what I'm getting. So the more you can kind of answer that, the better it can be. So as I look here, the Urban Explorer, I've seen your channel. I know I've already given you suggestions. For weekly van life content, click here. Love the call to action on the subscribe. The Urban Explorer, van life repairs, conversions. I love it. I like that you have your van here. I like how you can see a little, like, I'm not sure if this was an artist interpretation or what. I like that a lot. I know that you have some things here probably for cutoff on mobile. The only thing I would say, if I'm getting super nitpicky, is like, tell me, are you going weekly? Is it twice a week? What is it? And then I would say, because this is cut off in mobile, keep that in mind. So that is always something I tell people when it comes to that. Overall, though, I know, and I've given you this suggestion, and I guess who drew it said Beanie draws. I'm probably going to say Daryl Eves. I know Daryl Eves has a really big drawing. Not joking, Beanie. But Beanie, this is great work. So I see a $5 super chat from 30 Day Reviews. Not sure how to spice up titles or upgrade the search, since they are product reviews, need to have company name and product name search reasons. So 30 Day Reviews, you are going to be added to the queue, and we will discuss kind of more searchable ways here. So what I will say right off the bat is for you, Neil, I want to take a look at it for like, what are you covering in search, right? So you're doing DIY van modifications you can do for self-built campers, DIY van maintenance and repairs for self-built. Paul Peck comes in with a $10 super chat. It says, always enjoy your live streams at Andrew Can. Paul Peck, thank you so much. Dr. Sten Eckberg says, give the stream a thumbs up. Thank you, Dr. Sten. And I know you say it says weekly, the Neil here, but the thing is, for mobile, I'm always weary of that it will be cut off. So that's, again, I'm getting nitpicky because you do a lot right here. If I were to take a guess, van life adventures exploring England in a self-built camper. I know you're looking for content, van maintenance and repairs for self-built campers. I know you're probably sick and tired of hearing about this one YouTuber who blew up, but here's the thing. For you, Neil, since this is a newer channel, what I'd recommend is, if they do a topic, your spin is really going to be what matters. I should change my banner to at least once a year. Beanie, I feel that sometimes. It's like on the TubeBuddy channel, super consistent. Other channels, we'll get to it. But if I were to take a guess, my thing is, I see, I would, again, going to that nitpick, I'd go into the Urban Explorer, recent uploads, or even recent Urban Explorer, recent van life uploads. So then you can then target that van life, which we know people are looking for, and then you have a playlist, which one introduces them to you, and then it's another way. I would say for you, there's going to be a lot of questions about van life. So that's where the search should be, right? So if I go to van life here, we can see through Search Explorer, like there's Janelle, we know about her. We can see van life build. So if van life with kids, I'd look into the van life build, right? So do you have that coverage, right? And then do you have van life build for cheap? Van life build 2019, van life build ideas, step by step. I know you did one about a shower. So like, as we go deeper and deeper here, Neil, you'll see like these can all be ideas, and they all come from the search. We just add a space here. You can see that this is all based on what people are actually searching for. And again, you could just do this again within Keyword Explorer, but I'm trying to focus a little more here because this is just another way. And all of these are just ways that you could come in and just have an opportunity, right? So like van life build cheap. And then this is gonna cheapest van life build. You can talk about like how you save money, like how to find ways to do better on a budget in a van or something like that, because all of those things matter, right? And all of these are things people are looking for. So the more specific you get on this, Neil, the better chances you have. And again, all of these you can just, if you want to see what you've looked, We keep track of it for you in Keyword Explorer. We give you like the minimum requirement. But the thing is, I know that you're passionate about this, Neil, and I think that there's a lot of questions about van life that aren't answered. And if we look at the keyword stats, right, like there's only been one video. Like I know that looking here, it's not that optimized. Least subscribers 181, least views 3.1 thousand. So we know people are looking. It's just there's not a lot of coverage here. Also, welcome Doug. See Doug Houston YT. So that would be where I would focus on for you, because from there, that's where we can. Now, I want to see, do you have the Urban Explorer? If I look here, you rank number 1. So one thing I would say, you could maybe talk about where you choose, why you choose to explore these areas, right? Now let's take a look at just a video. I'll take a look at this camper van sun canopy. So I'll go ahead and mute this. My main thing is camper van sun canopy, very searchable, but what's the reason for what should I be compelled to click? So I see that you're going for camper van sun canopy. Do I see that? I don't actually see the title repeated here. I see camping gear you must own, camping gear for beginners. So what is it? Is this about this canopy? Is this gears beginners should have? There's that confusion again. And then I see a sun canopy for camper vans can be difficult choice, but here's the Wild Earth sun canopy awning for camper vans, right? So is it this specific one? Or maybe it should be about this one, Wild Earth sun canopy, right? So let's go into Wild Earth sun canopy. If I could spell, that'd be amazing. God, I can't click either. But as we see here, I mean, you are the #1 ranking video, and this might actually be that there is no search, right? Like the least is there is no top channel because it's just not that searched. But maybe you should focus, like sun canopy might be a little bit better, right? Best sun canopy for your van, something like that. It's the compelling element, especially when you're in a niche such as van life. Like people may not know, right, that they need a sun canopy. So maybe you come in van life beginning sun canopies, why you need one, right? And then maybe you focus on that. But it's also, you can be the only one in the desert and it doesn't matter because you're in the desert, right? So I would say that for you, it's always going to be focusing on, I guess the question is do you want like hardcore van enthusiasts or do you want those beginners, right? Because that is something that goes into your target audience. Like, are you beginner friendly or are you really here for that hardcore van life people? So that's something you could also like, you could put van life repairs, conversions, making it easy for beginners. Welcome, the People's Bookkeeper says, I'm late, how dare I? Hi, everyone. Welcome, the People's Bookkeeper. Great to have you here with us. But hopefully, Neil, I gives you some food for thought. What I would say for you, again, talk about how you come up with where to travel next. I would also say try to find things within the van life hobby that you can really, like you have van life fandom videos. I like the alliteration. I would say remember that people are searching for these things. And that your channel, because it's so new, is positioned in a way where you can hyper focus. So I wish you all the best. I just want people, LOL, anyone will do. And with that case, I would say since you're looking for anyone, focus on beginners because there's going to be a lot of people who have questions about van life. That being said, I give you an F- because if we look here, I don't see myself. So thanks for nothing, Neil. F- it is. F's in the chats for no seriousness. If I were to take a look, your channel's doing very well. I can tell that you've taken what you've learned and you've implemented it into what you are doing next. And that is something that a lot of people need to take into consideration, right? Like sometimes you can build something and then use it to build something new, and the new thing will be better because of all the mistakes. People are putting F's in the chats. But in all seriousness, I think you have a really good chance here. I think that it's super searchable. I can tell just by watching your videos, you're more into it. So just keep creating. I would say what I'd give you, just based on what I'm seeing here, is a very good understanding. There's still a lot of room for the search. I'd probably give you a B- if I'm taking a look at it from a search perspective. So I would say the way you can get a higher grade is focus on that compelling element and kind of maybe try some beginner friendly content. Is van life right for you? That is a question I don't know that would make sense for you to answer, right? So that's something you can kind of discuss yourself, and that's something that as you create content you get to decide. It's the best part about creating. So in all seriousness, B- is what I'd give you, but F- in the chat, and I'm seeing super mega F. So seeing a lot of people here. So if I look at 30-day reviews, 30-day reviews asked a little bit earlier. Hopefully I can still find that super chat. Not sure how to spice up my titles or upgrade the search since they are product reviews. Need to have the company name and product name for search reasons. So the best way I could describe it is, looking at your channel, like you kind of know what people are gonna do. The thing is like mustache wax, right? So if I look here, mustache wax, Brewster, women, men, review, removal, tutorial. Do you have tutorials? And then maybe that makes more sense. And then maybe you can say my favorite mustache, make a tutorial. Like there are different ways to search. Like a lot of times we think that things are not searchable, right? And we think in our heads that we are going to get here just because we know a way for so long. But if I transition now, we can see that mustache wax tutorial is actually pretty well searched for. I am 5'10", Christina. So take that for what you will. But like mustache wax tutorial is something people are looking for, right? Like how to apply mustache wax. Maybe if you are doing a review, you make a tutorial for that product too. Like there are different ways to do it. I know you're reviewing the product, but one of the ways you can review a product is also by doing tutorials, which might do well for you. Product reviews are great. Look at products you would use yourself so your passion comes across, and then find items that people want. This is a people's bookkeeper. And I know 30-day reviews, you do a good job at discovering that. So that's something I would take into consideration. So when it comes to like looking for things within your niche 30-day reviews, like one thing you're going to have to remember is that you got to check your analytics, because like you are doing SEO pretty well based on like, you have to include these X things. But my thing are like, what are your popular videos, right? Like what are actually resonating like long term? Obviously, we're going to not look at the ones that really don't like matter much, because I know you've done it. But like, here's the thing: Fisticuffs mustache wax review. This one did very well. Bearded butter, like you did a review, top 3 best mustache waxes within the year. Then maybe like this is an example of a video that did well. Maybe you make a playlist around this, like how to use a D-Safety razor tutorial by Q-Shave. If you want my overall review, check out here. And it's finding different ways, right? I would say for you, the thing that I would say is keeping you is like you're so hardwired in to doing those reviews in 30 days that show yourself testing the reviews over those 30 days. Like make a playlist around a product, because if you're waiting 30 full days to review it, then that could be a problem where like you feel you can't do much. Like I just see hobbies and why we all need them, live shave, why switch to a D razor unboxing and a chat, 5 gadget things that make my life better. So I would say we know that people are looking for like mustache waxing tutorials, and then that's where you can have one of these things. Or like, here's a good one: how to grow facial hair. I can't grow facial hair to save my life. If my life depended on me growing facial hair, I'd die. And my girlfriend would probably leave me, but I'd die because I can't. So this is an example of a video that piqued my interest: how to grow facial hair. And this isn't one of those videos where you had to have a product name, but it intrigued me. How to grow facial hair. Maybe you could make it more searchable or more clickable by saying, even if you can't grow facial hair, right? And then it's like, what? Then you're activating an audience that feels underrepresented. Lies, with a 5 o'clock shadow, you could. I have 5 o'clock shadow, or is it just the shadow of my lights? It's good your life doesn't depend on growing facial hair. That would be stressful. And that's can't with a K, says the book People's Bookkeeper. Spray on beards? I look homeless if I grow it. If you're reviewing multiple products over 30 days, do you wear each product daily or once? How many products do you wear daily? That's a great question, Beanie. But like, this is a great example of how to grow facial hair. Like, this is an example of something that is searchable that could then lead people in to your channel. But the problem is, by having that strict 30 days, I would maybe say first impressions after a week, show a tutorial of you using the product, and then do your overall review after having it for the full 30. Then you've made a 3-video playlist, which you can tell people to check out. And then it can just help you even more. And again, my popular videos, not searchable, 30-day reviews. Popular videos are top 3 playlists of what? Not that searchable. Mustache product reviews is the most searchable friendly one. Beard balm, what would be my question? Beard oil, what about it? Trimming and shaving product reviews is again a great one, but it's like some of these are really good, some of them are not so much, and you've got to elevate those ones that aren't as good, because 10% can change a lot, and the more searchable you are, the better. Hi, Susie Valentine Realtor, welcome to the live stream. But 30-day reviews, I'm giving you tough love because that's what you need sometimes. 30-day review says you're kind of saying the same thing that Nick said, to add another facet of ways to bring someone in. Of course, like, I have a video on help, hub, and hero-based content. Help content is content that brings people in the door. Your hub content, which is that 30-day reviews, keeps them in. And that hero content is stuff like maybe how to grow a beard, or how to grow facial hair, which combines the two, which is that helpful, and also it makes sense for your hub, but then it can reach beyond that, right? Like, that becomes your hero content. So change beard oil to beard oil reviews and such, absolutely, because playlists can be searchable, folks. They are one of the best ways to get views through search. I pronounced your name perfectly. I like those terms, Andrew. Never heard it like that before. Well, that's why I'm here, hopefully helping people out. But 30-day reviews, I get passionate about your channel because I know there's so much here, but it's sometimes we put ourselves in a mindset that because of our channel name is like 30-day reviews, I have to do it within 30 days. But you have so much things you could film within that 30 days that could bring people in. And also, it gives you chances to flex your creative muscle, to try new things. So that's what I'd say to you, 30-day reviews. If I had to give your channel a grade, well, it's again F minuses in the... No, I'm joking. If I had to give a more serious grade, I would say that I feel when it comes to your channel, you're almost crippling yourself by your name. And like, I'd like to see you get outside of this. I want you to unbox yourself from the box you put yourself in. That's using your channel for you. But I think you have a great channel. I just think that sometimes we put ourselves in these boxes. So yeah, like Neil, you're going to get that B minus. Because I know you know what you're doing. You have decent understanding of these things, but it's those things that keep us in boxes that we place ourselves that can honestly be the most damning. Because a lot of times, I know I'm guilty of this. I'm like, wait, people come to me for this. And it's like, but do they? Because a lot of times what we think people are actually there for, we don't know. At least it wasn't a Q plus as the People's Bookkeepers. I'm Justin, not Neil, LOL. Y'all so mean tonight. Well, I just calls it as I sees it. But more serious, hopefully you don't take that too harshly. Hopefully you understand some humor here. What is humor amongst viewer and live streamer? Though, if you ever look at transcripts of humor, it is never plays well in court. So, but if I were to give you like some search suggestions, I really liked Here's one for you. What razor should I use? What razor gives the best shaves for first shave? What razor to use for first shave would be a great video for you. And then, like, if we look at the keyword stats, obviously Gillette's going to have kind of a, a hold. But even then, not a lot of people on this top page are hyper focusing on it. Like, what razor to use for your first shave? How to shave with a straight razor, right? Like, this is all things people are actively searching for. I see cute Fury Friends videos. Hi, started a new channel and would love a quick look. You are added to the queue. So, again, these are just things you can think about. You can go in how to, what razor to use for mustache, right? And then, and then we have different results. And again, have you approached $5 Shave Club yet? Beanie Draw says, or is it Dollar Shave Club? I believe it's Dollar Shave Club. One Wipe Charlie's. There's a lot of brands you could approach 30-day reviews, especially for you. But I would say if you're doing Dollar Shave Club, it becomes a thing where, especially since you're all about men's grooming, you have to be very careful, because at a certain point, they're probably going to want their razors to be the answer for everything. So that while it makes sense on paper, I'm not sure if they should sponsor every video, because it could be seen as conflict of interest. But if you want to take like a product and make a specified video, like you give Dollar Shave Club a 30-day review, you like go through like the process of what's it like to receive Dollar Shave Club in the mail, do their stuff actually work well for you, and things like that. How to shave with bacon. Dr. Sten Ekberg's right. Maybe you take a printed out photo of Kevin Bacon and you teach people how to shave with bacon. Now, at a certain point, I'm just going a little crazy, but there are opportunities there. And 30-day review says no, and I refuse to. And that's something. And again, I caution it is to know where you stand on things like that. And I'm glad you do. Why women love mustaches. 30-day reviews at Andrew Can. I would love to shave with bacon, says Susie. 30-day reviews, Kevin Bacon. Exactly. You never know. Bacon can mean a lot of things. But the next person we are going to be looking at is Cute Furry Friends videos, right? So the first thing I will say is this is a new channel. Cute Furry Friends videos, new uploads every week. So I can see some cute kittens. I can see kittens here. I see cute furry friend videos. I know kind of what to expect. Videos with cute furry friends. I know every week to expect an upload. Only thing I would say is maybe why I should subscribe for these cute furry friends. Or maybe, you actually put in this little banner, this call to action to be a little more specific. So looking here, I don't see playlists, but because these are cute furry friends, like I see some cats, I see a dog, I would say cute furry cat videos, cute furry dog videos, and it's keeping into the or cute fury. I keep saying fury. I'm angry apparently. I don't know why I keep saying fury, but we'll deal with this later. So that is something I'd keep in mind. I would say based on maybe you have furry friend of the week, where you could have your audience submit their own furry friends, and that could be something that'd be fun for you and your audience. And it doesn't have to be its own dedicated video, but you can include it at the end of a video, or cute furry friend of the day in that video. That'd be an incentive to watch, and then people could share with you. I'm not sure if this is tips, or if I'm not too sure how cats get high, 10 sounds that cats make and what they mean, kittens fighting and being thrown off chairs. I would say be careful of this within YouTube changes. Animal abuse has been a very interesting one. YouTube's been very on the fence. It could just be them. You're just filming them play fighting, and I understand it, but you got to remember YouTube doesn't understand nuance all the time. But for you, how cats made up clothes, I mean, that is interesting to say the least. Talking kitty cats, how mothers' cats talk to their babies. Cute Furry Friend says, I was thinking about doing that, asking people for their videos. I do think it makes sense. Nomadic Bike says, I got my uploads playlist with the description on my homepage. Thank you. Awesome. Hopefully that makes it easier for your new viewers, and two, it'll also help you do better long-term in search there. Nomadic Bike. So I see, like, for example, meet my new puppy French Bulldog. This would be a great example of hub content. Maybe you have a playlist where it's like, meet all of my animals. I would say that could work very well. I like this one, how to introduce kittens to food. I think that's a very needed one. The first thing I'm noticing, though, is that there's a lack of tags. You have none. How to introduce kittens to food should be in your tags. This is decent, but it could be described a little bit better. What I would say is how to introduce kittens to food. Maybe you go a little bit more specific, but if I'm just to look up how to introduce cats to food, like, we'll see some results here, right? Like, we can go kittens to be more specific to what your video is about, right? How to introduce kittens to food. We can see that there's actually some decent search and not that well optimized. Like, this is, in fact, like, the least viewed videos is what's going to make me go maybe a different turn. But it's me, only Claire Jones, decided to take your advice and make a new channel with one thing that I upload. And I think that's a good idea. Welcome, Claire Jones. Great to see you back. But here's the thing, like, how to introduce kittens to food. It's kind of very, very saturated. And I know that I'm confident in my ability to rank a video, right? But I'm not confident enough to know that my video I meant make in tomorrow, for example, could make 271,000 views in a month, even a year. I'm not so confident on that, right? So how to introduce kittens to food is super hard to break into. That's what this is kind of showing us, right? Like with this search. That would be where I would say maybe how to introduce kittens to, I saw it was wet food. Maybe we specify some more. Yes, it's poor. Least view is 30, and it's not that well optimized. So it's similar, but by adding wet, we've changed the dynamic. Cute Furry Friend video says, my PC is down at the moment, so hard to sort the new channel out. Well, that makes sense. I love kittens with biscuit and gravy. Interesting. Kitten can make good gumbo. Why are they doing construction work at 4? Okay. Well, that's my life, folks. Sorry if you hear the construction. I just left a like. Sometimes I forget in live streams. Well, thank you, Susie. And if you would like to like the stream, go ahead. Thank you. But I do appreciate all likes and all engagement are appreciated. But that's just an example, like how to introduce kittens to wet food. Maybe a great one is how to, since this is furry, not fury, friends, how to introduce a new pet to your dog or to your cat. Like, go for that. Let's see. I'm sure people are looking for these things. Search volume's pretty fair. Competition's good. Let's see. Not that many. Decent least viewed. And these are things that, you got a new animal. It's a good video. And then you can talk about it. Yeah, I guess we'll remake one about that tomorrow. The kittens out. Bless them. Tell them to watch out for the water line. You're right, Paul. But hopefully that gives you some food for thought there. So I will go back to Cute Furry Friends. And again, something you might, instead of meet my new puppy French Bulldog, maybe adopting a French Bulldog puppy. And maybe that's a little more searchable. And then maybe you can do what to know when adopting a French Bulldog puppy. And then it's keeping in. There's so many things you can make searchable, right? Like you have a French Bulldog puppy that's super specific within your niche. Then you can ask your audience, hey, show me your cute French Bulldogs. There's so much potential there. Really, guys, why are they... I am so sorry. I just need to put a sign. I'll just tape it on my apartment door. Why are you doing so? Oh well, I understand they have a job to do just as much as I do. But hopefully that gives you some food for thought there. Because I think this is a cool channel. I think there's so much you can do here. But remember that I would focus on those beginner pet owners and also those that have the same pets as you, because those are really kind of what matter. Welcome, Midnight Madness 4x4. So with that, if I were to give you a grade, I would say, because you are new and you're starting, I know you're having some PC problems, I'd give you a C. And that's not a failing grade. I know some people see a C and they're like, I'm a failure, I should give up. C is a baseline. I think that you have some good stuff here. I think there's some stuff you can improve, but I know you know that. I would just say, because you're so new, this is a real good opportunity for you to establish yourself within that pet kind of genre as a helpful friend. You know, you have cute, I want to say cute furry friends, right? Then be that answer. The People's Bookkeeper says C for cute. It seems to be working with every alliteration we've had thus far, so has to be true. But I know, Paul, you sent a Paul, you were always an anomaly, because like you're an example of how to do a niche or genre channel so well. It becomes to a point where it's always difficult for me to give you advice, except I have to get super like nitpicky. But even then, even once I get that nitpicky level, you do so much right. So Paul, would you like a channel review, or would you like to donate it to someone else? Let me know what you'd like, Paul. Always happy to help. They might be furious, Andrew. You never know. Cats are killers. You are right on that. Cats are one of the very few like domesticated animal species we have that still kill for fun. So they're cute little machines of death. That's the best way I could say about cats. Donate to Christina Smallhorn. Christina, the claw, the paw is chosen. You have been chosen for a channel review. So, looking here. Who's being mean to everyone, Paul Peck? Me? Looking at this channel, I would say I'm going to have to give this channel a grade already, because I already know. She's not even gripping this house fully. It's a facade. There's no solid foundation. There's clear space. Like, how is this supposed to support up this house? This is a scam. This is false. F for false foundation. F's in the chats all around. The People's Bookkeeper says Christina's channel is nice. She's got great videos. I agree. But I just have to be having a little bit of fun. So, because of this, I like the 5 top apps for buying a home. I think that makes a lot of sense. Top real estate tips for buying and selling. Love that. Playlist of buying, selling, maintaining your home. That's fair. Uploads. I see that you are real estate trivia. Real estate around the world. Makes sense. What are modular homes? I actually saw this and I've watched it. One thing I would say for you, Christina, is what are modular homes? I would say maybe let's look at modular homes. I'm curious how we got here, right? Modular homes, you know, here we have versus traditional, very searchable, search volume through the roof. Competition, although, is also through the roof, but the least viewed is here. It is pretty well optimized. That is something you're gonna deal with. So modular homes, kind of looking here. You say, what are modular homes? Modular homes, are they right for you? Maybe this is a better angle, right? And this is not as competitive, but you're still keeping that modular homes at the first and up like forefront here. Modular homes, are they right for you? And then you can do modular homes, why they're not right for you. And you can play both sides. And then you have more options. Because one thing I know Christina does very well is she's very good on the search. It's that compelling element. I struggle with this too. I do really love this one, this combination of how do you paint a room. I think that's really good. And obviously it's done decently well when we look at the views. What is title insurance? Is title insurance worth it? I love that clickable element. Home sellers recordings their homes. Is it illegal? 5 ways to deal with horrible neighbors. I need that house she's holding for my kitchen. How much? LOL. Again, Christina does very well. If I were to take just some things here, I would say that mobile homes pros and cons. Maybe do one for modular homes pros and cons. What's the difference? Mobile home versus modular homes, and then things like that. I saw one of the things was modular homes versus traditional was something people were looking for too. And then maybe because of your unique thing, your unique standpoint, you can kind of come in and give people the difference between like modular versus traditional. And then you can say, should you buy a modular or traditional home? There's a lot of opportunity here just from one video. So my thing for Christina would be is if you have a video, maybe if it's doing well, maybe make it into a playlist, right? Like, how do you paint a room? Well, how do you paint a ceiling, right? How do you paint a room ceiling? Maybe you make another video where you go a little more in depth on how to paint a ceiling. And then, hey, maybe here's a collab idea with you and Paul, how to paint drywall. So again, there's a lot of opportunity there. And even if you can like get people from Paul's channel to watch yours and vice versa, there's opportunity. So Christina, I know you're doing very well. I know you know a lot of this. I do appreciate the opportunity to always take a look at channels. So Christina, I think you're doing very well, but you're not even holding the house completely. There's so much on there. The house is going to invert and fall. How can we give you, I mean, let's be honest, folks. What's holding up this house, really? It's gonna crumble down. There's so much room for it to fall. We've got some it's just something, I don't know. I just gotta give you a hard time. In all seriousness, your channel realistically gets a solid, just kind of looking here. You know what you're doing. I'd say just always like expand farther in any way you can. I would say easy A for you. Just because like on search you're doing very well. Again, for you, I'd say your next step is like identifying videos like how do you paint a small room, and then trying to find ways that you can make those into playlists, because playlists are powerful, folks. That being said, Sierra the Chosen One says, hey Andrew, if you'd like a channel review, please let me know. I'm doing them today. Woo, an A, Christina Smallhorn. Agreed. But an F because there's no... But I'm actually having a lot of fun. I'm seeing a lot of ways that people can use the Search Explorer. Hopefully you guys are getting some good information. And do you look at Search Explorer when you are doing... like, how do you research your videos? Because there's multiple ways I do it. Usually if I'm just searching for things that I'm interested in, sometimes I will do them. I see a request. I will go ahead and go to your channel. But usually the way I'll do it is if I'm interested in it personally, then maybe other people are too. And then I open it in Keyword Explorer and I go from there. And then I kind of... Dr. Sten says, everyone gets an F. You get an F. You get an F. We are all failures. I'm Andrew Cant. Goodbye. Now I'm joking. But in all seriousness, I've done so many of these reviews that I think people get to a point where they expect a good grade, but I feel like if you give someone a fake F and then give them a real grade, they can take the real grade because they realize, oh, it could have been worse. Midnight Matt says, Andrew Can, if I'm ranking easily in my niche, would it be all right and start ranking for something higher? I'm ranking easily for tough trucks. I want to start shooting for truck racing. Absolutely, Midnight Racing. Or Midnight Madness. I saw racing and just my brain went somewhere else. But basically, what I would say for you, if you already are doing well for one thing in your niche, find a way to combine that to the next thing, right? So if you want to do truck racing, Maybe do a video on tough trucks, truck racing, right? Combine those two so you can bridge the gap for your audience and get a boost in that new truck racing stuff, right? So keep that in mind. Felix the Dev says that he would like one. Gotta keep these in line. So, we are going to start with the channel reviews. Transitioning. Grand music covers and originals every 2 weeks. I know what to expect. I know who it's doing it. I know every 2 weeks, but I don't know why I should subscribe, and why should I care about your covers? That would be my immediate question. So, grand music covers and originals for music lovers. At least I know it's for people who love music, and honestly, almost everyone loves music. But again, why they should subscribe, I would say the grand music covers and original is the why, just maybe make it a little more clear. So that would be that. Looking here, I would put you have uploads. What I might recommend doing is putting your channel name again, just trying to get that authority. So if people do look up your channel name, that can show up. I see that you do violin covers with instruments. Don't forget a playlist description. This is where it can really help in the search. Solo violin covers again. I see that you have violin covers for weddings. So my question would be, these violin covers for wedding, are they free? Like, are you allowing people to use these? Like, what's the usage rights? Violin covers for weddings, use these for free, maybe, could help people. Alternative originals, I like that. So I know if like I'm into alternative, this is a great place to go. I like seeing you within the thumbnail, makes sense. Get to know me. I would again go with get to know your channel name. So if people are looking for that can show up. Again, anytime you can put your channel in there, it's something good to keep. And as I can see here, people really like the look of your channel. Maybe put a violin in the background on the left side of your head on the channel art. Definitely agreed there. Maybe you have an image of you with the violin here, and then maybe the image of you with the coffee, and then maybe it's like a close-up of a violin against a starry background with your name, and it can really just kind of really come together. Now, because you are doing covers, there's just a lot of searchability there. Like, what I would say looking here is I would base my next cover kind of like what's done very well for me being yourself. So looking here, it kind of seems like doing K-pop violin covers does decent for you. It may not be something that you're super into all the time, but it's a way that you're doing well. And because you have that, maybe that's a playlist, right? Like you have K-pop, you have enough videos to make an easy K-pop playlist. So maybe K-pop violin covers, and you describe that very well. And then, let's just look up that K-pop violin cover, right? So the search is there. The keyword stats, least viewed, I'm seeing this. I would say there's some opportunity. There's definitely people looking for it. I do have a K-pop playlist. Well, that's great, but I don't see it on your channel. Maybe I didn't scroll down enough for it. I see BTS covers, see alternative covers. Okay, K-pop covers violin. I would maybe put that higher just because what's kind of resonating with your audience view-wise seems to be these covers. And also your featured video is the BTS Lights violin cover. So maybe you put that here, then you do violins with instrumentals and you kind of bridge people in. So the People's Bookkeeper says you should. The one thing I would always tell people when looking at other channels is there's a fine line between looking for inspiration and just straight up copying. So I'm always weary of recommending people look at larger channels in that way. What I would say is look at videos that they have done that is obviously resonated, but they kind of haven't touched again. So maybe if you notice that like Lindsey Sterling has done maybe one K-pop cover, maybe you do more from that band or things like that, because it's always making sure you keep your originality while seeing something someone else has done, but filling the gap where they like. A lot of times people can start building a house or start doing something that will be really good for their channel. They kind of stop or they do something else. So maybe you can identify places that there are those holes. If I had to give you a grade, I would say for you, because you're doing covers, like your K-pop stuff's doing pretty well. And I see that you have pop covers as well, so K-pop can lead into that pop coverage. What I would say for you specifically is I would ask in your next video what cover, like maybe come up with some covers you'd like to do and have the audience vote on that through a card poll. And then that's incentive for more engagement. It's incentive for you because you know you're already going to do it. So that'd be my best advice for you. The People's Bookkeeper says if you get a hit with something, stick with that theme and write it out for a while. I agree, but also it's one of those, it's understanding how long to ride that vehicle. It's something I always struggle with, right? Like I know for my personal channel that anything covering audio does well. VidCon videos do well, but I'm not only audio and I'm not only VidCon videos. And it's by experimenting. For example, I didn't know Gato Camlink video, which is about live streaming, which is again about filmmaking, but kind of loosely. It's those experiments that can sometimes give you the most unexpected results. Felix the Dev says, I liked the plunder and lighting thumbnail. So that's some good feedback there. So if I were to give you a grade, well, it is an obvious for you. I'm giving you an F flat. No, I prefer B minor. So I'm going to give you a B, more realistic. I'd say just again, just focusing on making those playlists more searchable, making those things better. So those are some things I would just say for you really quickly. I think that with what you've got going here, I think you have a decent chance. No F sharp, says Beanie Draws. Not in this house. Sure. I mean, how about it just a chord of F, right? So in all seriousness, I hope that gave you some things to think about. It gave you some food for thought. And thank you for the opportunity to take a look at your YouTube channel. I do appreciate it. Now, it's time to dev. And before YouTube's like, aha! We've got him, see? See, I have that Baron but I don't have that curly mustache like 30-day reviews, so I can't. 30-day reviews, you better be twirling your mustache for me. So let's take a look at Felix the Dev. So Felix the Dev, programming and computer science help. All right, makes sense. I like the apps here in the background. The main thing I would say, programming and computer science help. I would put a call to action. Subscribe for however often you upload, maybe weekly programming and computer science help. You know, put that call to action. I'd raise this Felix the Dev just so you have more space to put things. I really like your kind of self here. I think it makes a lot of sense. I think maybe one thing you could do is reuse a lot of these apps and put a translucent layer or transparent layer and then have some of them in the background. Again, just kind of looking here. Just food for thought. Learn to code, Java, programming language. My main problem I would see here is all of these thumbnails look so similar that if I'm a viewer, I would say it's difficult for me to recognize, have I seen this video before? So maybe I'd recommend maybe a color theming and then maybe putting like statements. Maybe you put that line of code within the thumbnail. And so I see that you have really clear defined like playlists, you have good descriptions. I see you know what you're doing on that. I really kind of like this. What can I do with SQL? I like these a lot more than these, but you might be doing some A/B tests. I don't necessarily know. I would say when you are putting like learn to code faster, make sure you're being very cautious of the timestamp because I'm seeing it getting cut off a lot. Overall, I think you have some really solid playlists here. I would say for you, like looking here, switch statements, Java. I would say maybe Java programming. Like if we look here, that's going to be just because this is what you've been doing more recently. Searches per month is through the roof. Competition, like for beginners, is obviously one. Like Java programming for beginners. This one is actually a little bit better. The least viewed is where I'd get here, but keywords and titles actually. So like Java programming for beginners, is Java right for you? Might be better. And again, like this is an opportunity for you to really stand out. Like look at all these things and like look how colorful they are, right? So again, find different ways that you can stand out. So you could put in English, maybe you put tutorial. I mean, obviously the more specific we go, the better it is. And obviously, since there's so much natural search for this, this should be the name of a playlist, Java Programming for Beginners, going back to you, Felix the Dev. And because you have that development background, you can speak with that, use those experiences and the videos if you aren't already. Again, I kind of like the white with the text better than just the black here because I can't easily distinguish as easily as I can here. And I would say learning to code Java programming language isn't a bad one, but again, what are people searching for? Do I have a playlist for it? If no, you really kind of need to consider it. Welcome, Ambi Relaxing Music. Had to go back, see what was said. Of course, these replays will be up for all of your viewing pleasure afterwards. So looking here, I like the study tips for computer science students. I would say, are you focusing on like programming and computer science help? I would say since you're kind of doing that angle, maybe you really just, I mean, you have 4 beginners, like really kind of like go deep in that. And also let's take a look. Like you have enough videos where we can kind of see like what's actually resonating with the 136 you have. How to push GitHub, LinkedIn tips for computer science extracurricular, introducing Julia programming language. Julia to introduction for beginners. Like this one seems to have done well. Again, what's done well for you seems to be Julia, seems to be just tips about computer science because there's a lot of students here. And for you, a win would be if teachers play your videos in class. That would be huge. One of the most like bizarre emails I've ever gotten was from a professor who wanted to use my acoustic phone video in her filmmaking class. And I went, excuse me? Like I became a video that I watched in class for a whole group of students. So Felix, you could be for these students or these beginners, like that'd be great. And I think if you can make sure that your, teachers can tell easily, maybe you go for like lesson plans and stuff like that. That's really interesting. So for you, Felix, there's a lot of opportunity because God knows people need to learn to code. It's kind of definitely the future. And I know that people like you that can make it easy, but definitely will be doing well. Again, for you, I'd say where you're going to struggle is how easy is it for people to identify me specifically. And I mean, if I've learned anything from YouTube, if you are bald with great facial hair like you are, you'll be successful. That's what I've learned on YouTube after all this time. Not that it's a search engine, just be bald and have great facial hair like yourself and you'll do well. That's what I've learned. There are teachers that play kid songs and videos every single day in their school and classes. That's a great possibility. But more specifically for you, Felix, I would say keep on what you're doing. But that Julia video, for example, did very well for you. I'm speaking a little bit based on what I'm seeing view-wise. I have no idea what Julia is, but that's a great video for me to watch. Point being is that identify videos that have done well for you in that case. Make it easy for the audience to identify different ones. And one thing I'd like to see is I'd like to see a little bit more of the thumbnails where you kind of included stuff like this. I've also noticed that you have this, I'm assuming this is your logo. I'd love to see that on this laptop. I know it might be a little difficult, but even with like a transform effect, it might be possible. Again, I'm not much of a graphics guy, but I do my best. Hybrid Steel, where are thee? But overall, I really do like what you're doing. I think you have some good ideas. Just, again, make your messaging more clear. Overall, I think you have a pretty solid channel. And you know what? I give this channel a C++. Ah! Oh! I'm dead inside, people. Now, But in all seriousness, I give you a C+. I think you have some really solid foundation stuff. Again, really focus on what's done well for you and keep searching for what's doing well for you. Sorry, I have to keep drinking water. My temperature rises in my apartment very rapidly. It's 87. We started with a temperature at 70. So as there's no air circulating in here, you may see me drinking water and sweating profusely. That is for your viewing pleasure. No, it is water. Although, as useful as that is, here, audience, just take a nice sip. I feel like what I need on my soundboard is the boom sound effect. I thought that was a great coding joke, said Tiffany Von Gravely. Thank you, Tiffany. I'm glad that someone enjoyed it. But in all seriousness, folks, it has been a really good opportunity tonight. We've seen a lot of great channels, but you know what? You always got to leave them wanting a little bit more. I'm Andrew Can. Remember, folks, that if I can, you all can too. And so can your audiences based on the knowledge they get from you. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day or night.